have exactly 1 month until I have to hand the keys back for my unit. And after years of hard graft, blood, sweat, and sometimes even tears, I've got just 30 days to work out exactly what I'm going to do next. So welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all well. Now, as I've just said at the start of the video, I've got just 1 month or 30 days until I've got to hand back the keys for my unit. Now, in this video, we're going to go through from the beginning, and when I say the beginning, I mean moving into the unit, and we're going to talk about everything that's led up to the point of the landlord saying what he said, and then at some point during this video, you will find out the reasons exactly why he wants his unit back. Now, I don't know why I've decided to film this video on literally the hottest day of the year, so go grab yourself a drink, sit down, and let's go through everything that has happened. So, if we start from the very beginning, it's been probably, nearly 3 years since I moved into this unit now, and when I moved in, it wasn't just myself that moved in, there were actually 3 people. Now, I'm not going to go into personal reasons and personal details, but probably about, 4 months into actually being in here as the 3 of us, one of the 3 people decided that it wasn't for him and he dropped out fairly quickly, shall we say. And yeah, that kind of left me and the other guy in a bit of a predicament, and we decided together that we would make it work basically, and that was exactly what we did. And we were doing that for probably a good 12 to 18 months, and again through personal reasons which I'm not going to get into, we haven't fallen out, we're still friends now to this day. And yeah, through personal reasons, it just meant that he could no longer physically rent somewhere so far away from home. So he's had to find alternative sort of things for himself. He did eventually manage to find a unit that was closer to him. So obviously with his current situation, that worked better for him. But ultimately that left me in an even sort of stickier situation with the fact that I now have this massive unit that I'm now sort of liable for paying all of the rent on by myself. Now, this obviously isn't ideal at all, as when we took the unit on, the total rent was split between the 3 of us, so we paid a third each, and like I've just said, I'm now liable for the full amount, and as you can probably imagine, a big unit like this isn't exactly cheap. Now, in order to pay for the extra bits of rent, obviously that means you've got to do more work, but in order to do more work, you have to sacrifice certain things, because I've only got 1 pair of hands and there's only so many hours in a day. Now, anyone that does this in the way that I do it will fully, anyone that's self-employed, to be quite honest, will fully understand that there's nothing in the world that is more precious than time. Now, in order, like I say, to do more work or get more work done, should I say, that sort of comes at a price, and that price is your time. And by time, I mean time with family, social time, and time with your kids. All the things that sort of are the most precious things in the world, you have to sacrifice a lot of that in order to make things work. And okay, it's not ideal, but it's just something you do when you've got sort of a dream, you've got a goal, and you want to actually achieve that dream or that goal. You've got to be prepared to make sacrifices and look at the bigger picture. So that was exactly what I did. I've looked at the bigger picture, and yeah, I like to say, or I have already said in a video on one of my socials, that bad things happen in threes, and I like to count all of that sort of episode, we'll call it, as one of my 3 things. Now, second major bad thing to happen was, as you all already know, and I've got to try not to get too upset when I'm talking about this, is it's still a bit, yeah, I don't really know the word, but you know exactly what I mean, and that was Aussie. And yeah, anyone that knows me knows that Aussie was pretty much everything. See, getting upset thinking about it, but yeah, he was everything to me, and losing him was a real, it was a real kick in the knackers, shall we say. It was, again, something that was totally out of the blue, something that couldn't have been helped, something that nobody could have done anything about, and trust me, if I could have done something, then I would have done it, and I think you all know that I would have done it in a heartbeat. But again, that to me was the second bad thing to happen, and when that did happen with Aussie, when things happened after Aussie, should I say, I sort of started saying that Aussie was the glue that held me together. He was everything. He was, yeah. If things went wrong, I know dogs can't physically talk, but if you're a dog person, your dogs do talk to you. And me and him used to have all sorts of conversations about all sorts of things. Like I'd talk to him and he wouldn't talk back, and I'd still know what he wanted. And yeah, if you're a dog person, you'll get what I'm saying. But because that happened, everything after that, like I say, it just sort of seemed to be because of that, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I know what I mean in my head. But ultimately, that was the second thing that happened that was quite bad. So then, obviously, after everything happened with Aussie, it was just too quiet here. I couldn't deal with it. So I like to say Aussie knew that I needed a new buddy, and he literally sent me Buddy. So yeah, we ended up getting Buddy. And for those that don't know who Buddy is a new dog that, well, I say new dog, I've probably had him 6 months now. Yeah, it's probably about 6 months we've had him. But yeah, he didn't replace Aussie because nothing will ever replace Aussie. No dog, no person can replace Aussie. It's just impossible. But not long after having Buddy, there was another incident, which again I've put many videos on my socials. Most people at home watching this video will know exactly what did happen. So again, I don't have to go into every single detail. But Buddy was involved in a dog fight, and I ended up trying to split it up, as obviously I don't want either of the dogs to get hurt. So I ended up trying to split it up, and during the process of trying to split it up, I ended up losing the end of my finger, and that is sort of the end result now. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. But yeah, that was a very serious, again, incident. It was extremely traumatic, and yeah, that that is what I'm going to call number three. As like I said, bad things happen in threes. So first it was everyone splitting up, then it was Aussie, and then obviously having the end of my finger bitten off. So once all that had happened, I did start to think, well, things have got to start to get better now. Surely nothing else bad can happen. And there was probably like what, a month and a half or so, a month maybe, between physically doing things again after the finger incident, as I had to have like 3 months off. I wasn't allowed to do anything due to like the risk of infection, as it was quite bad. It was bitten down to the bone, but because of the risk of infection, I couldn't do anything, hence the time off. But that time off in itself is an absolute nightmare for anybody self-employed. And I hope if you're watching this at home, if you are self-employed, you've never had to have that kind of time off. And again, if you are self-employed watching this, I hope you do never have to have that kind of time off, because the aftermath, the headache that comes off the back of 3 months off when you physically need your hands to work and you can't do that is, yeah, it's not good. Like, the amount of catching up you have to do is absolutely unreal. So after thinking things can't really get much worse than this, it took a big turn for the worst, and that was when I had the phone call from a landlord, and it was literally just on a random Tuesday afternoon, and that phone call basically said that we want the unit back. It's nothing that I've done. He's just got plans to expand the yard, which, okay, it's fair enough. It's his unit, it's his land, he can do what the hell he likes. But ultimately, that leaves me in another very, very sticky situation as to what am I going to do in regards to the work that I've got, the cars that I've got around me, all of the tools, all of the equipment. Like, he has given me time. I'm not disputing that. He's given me a bit of time to be able to sort my affairs out and get everything in order. But ultimately, it does leave me with the massive, massive headache of trying to find another unit, as well as trying to play catch up after having 3 months off from a freak accident that, again, couldn't have been avoided. And that brings us up to where we are now, with the landlord wanting the unit back and inevitably leaving me with the predicament of trying to find another unit, because whether I like it or not, in a month's time, this unit is going to be gone. So this now brings me on to actually trying to physically find another unit to be able to rent. Now, I know a lot of you at home maybe are in the motor trade or have just tried finding a unit for your own personal cars, hobbies, all that sort of stuff. Then you will understand just how difficult it actually is to actually try and find a landlord that will agree to renting you the unit and letting you do the kind of things that you want to do in there. Now, this isn't the first unit that I've rented, but it has always been difficult, but I've never known it to be this difficult and have that many landlords actually say no. Now, the amount of phone calls I've made, the amount of time I have spent scouring the internet, looking on various websites at various different properties, just trying to find somewhere is absolutely unreal. Now, I do get both sides, as obviously I'm the mechanic and I do everything within my power to keep the place tidy. Obviously having the dog here, that's quite an important thing, but I also get that at times it can get a bit messy, as having various cars in various states of repair doesn't help. But again, it is what it is when you're waiting for parts, when you're waiting for this, when you're waiting for that. Things do just go wrong. Anyone in the car game will relate to that. Shit does just happen and there's not really a lot you can do about it. But I do also get it from the landlord side, because they don't want the place looking like a mess and this and that. So it's like a double-ended sword, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't... They want someone in there, we're prepared to be in there, but some people do actually ruin it for the genuine guys, because they will just treat the place like an absolute shithole. They do this, they do that. But then you get other people like me where, okay, yeah, there is various cars out there, there is some scrap in a scrap bin, but I've gone out of my way to try and make sure the walls get painted. Obviously I keep the floor tidy, I try not to have oil spill everywhere outside. If it does spill up outside, I will clean it up, all that sort of stuff. So I get both sides of it, but obviously ultimately being the mechanic, looking for another unit to rent and having every landlord you speak to say no, it does just make things that little bit more difficult and genuinely 100 times more stressful. That also does bring me on to you guys at home watching this video, and by you guys I mean everyone that's followed, everyone that's liked, everyone that's commented, everyone that's sent me a message, because the amount of support I have had from you guys during this latest saga in the life of the Dreadlock Mechanic has been absolutely second to none. Now, I have already thanked you in various forms on social media, but I'm going to do that again, because people have physically offered me space in their own personal garages at home. People have offered me space in garages that they've got other things in. People have physically sent me messages saying, my place is hiring, you can have a job if you want it. Like, just the response from you guys, I genuinely wasn't expecting it to go the way that it has. I mean, I only videoed it and documented it and posted it so that you guys were sort of in the loop, because none of this would have been what it was if it wasn't for you guys at home liking the videos, sharing the videos, commenting on the videos, following the channels, subscribing to the channels, and having to sort of sit and think about making this video did sort of remind me that it is more than just the building, it is more than just the unit, it's the people I've met along the way, it's the cars that have been built in the workshop in various different forms. I mean, there's all sorts we've done. I mean, the one that springs to mind was Jesse's pink Volvo. We painted a white, it was originally a white Volvo, and we painted it Barbie pink, and we did a whole reveal on that. That was a whole thing. Recently, we've been doing Tara's Pagani, and there's going to be another video on that going out soon. So yeah, a lot of things have been done in there, and a lot of people have been met along the way. And again, like I've gone through it earlier in the video, a lot of things have happened, whether they be good, whether they be bad. Usually they've been bad, but it has just reminded me that it is a lot more than just walls around me and a roof above my head. And the community that we've built within these walls and under that roof through you guys has been absolutely second to none. So I know I've said it previously, but from me, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Although this unit, as you all know it, may be coming to an end, what we've built here isn't.
So did you really think that that was where my story was going to end? And if that's what you thought, then think again, as some of you may recognise where I am standing, and if you don't recognise where I'm standing, you'll recognise this M3 behind me, and if you don't recognise either of them things, I'm sure you're going to recognise this man just here.
Yeah, so yo, Dread is our new in-house mechanic, track days, content, all that shit that we be doing, Dread's gonna be part of it. And not just that, like, yo, if you want to get your cars booked in, we're doing body kits, we're doing repairs, we're doing tuning, we're doing all sorts down at High Performance HQ. So yo, go follow the socials that are on the screen right now. Let's fucking go, you bastards.
So if you lot want to find out exactly what me and Driver Dave are going to be doing, then all you need to do is make sure that you've liked this video, you subscribe to my channels, follow me on all forms of social media. There's TikTok, Instagram, and like I say, you'll be kept up to date with everything that is going to be happening. But for now, I'm going to go and get the tracking done on the G-Wagon. As you can see, we're sat inside, so I will catch you lot in the next one. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for following, thank you so much for the support. All together, fucking mint.
Let's fucking go, you bastards.